Hi everyone, welcome to Solway Mushrooms. Today I'm doing a video on still air boxes. We're going to cover what they are, why we use them in mycology, and why they're so important to us, and we're going to give you a demonstration on how to use it. So what is a still air box? Still air box are basically plastic storage containers that are turned upside down on a flat surface, and in doing so they provide an atmosphere of still air, so you don't get any currents of air pushing any contam or any spores from other competing fungi or anything like that into your clean space when you're doing your mycology work. There's two types. The first type is unmodified. So as you can see here, we've just got a tote, we've turned it upside down on a surface and we're sticking our hands through. Then we come to modified still air boxes. These can range anything from a glove box that you'd use in a laboratory to something as simple as just cutting some holes out for your hands to pop through. I've gone for something in the middle really. I've made a kind of glove box, found that didn't work, so I ended up cutting the actual hand parts of the gloves out and just leaving some sleeves. We need to clean our still air box prior to every single use. And this is important to make sure that we don't get any contamination or anything that's going to get in the way of us making some beautiful mushrooms. So we're wanting ideally to use our still air box in an area that doesn't have a lot of airflows in your house. A very popular place to use your still air box is in your bathroom. Whenever I use a still air box, I always clean the bathroom first as well to minimise any contam issues that might come in from outside of the still air box. So I've used 70% isopropyl alcohol for this, and you can see I've given everything a really good spray. I've now got some paper towels. You can also use a rag if you want to be a bit more environmentally conscious. I'm getting in every single corner of the box. You might not have glove sleeves on your box, but I've cleaned them as well. I'm going to wipe everything down and let it dry. You might wonder why you wear surgical gloves when you're doing mycology and why you don't just wash your hands. You can't always guarantee that even by washing hands you're going to get rid of tiny little dirt particles and any contam that might be under your fingernails. That's why we use gloves, and we always clean the gloves as well prior to you doing any work. It's really important we don't skimp on our cleaning regime and our sterile tech when we're doing mycology, because it will have negative effects on your grows. Now that I've cleaned this tub, I'm going to give you a demonstration of how you would actually use the still air box. Cleanliness is your friend in this game, and it will save you from getting a broken heart. To that end, always wear a mask. Don't follow my example here. This is just for demonstration purposes. Once we've given our bathroom a good clean, or our kitchen table, as I'm doing here now, I'm just using bleach and a rag, then we'll start to clean our materials that we're going to be doing. So our syringes, our lighters, our grains, whatever we're going to be working with on that day. So again, don't skip on this, take your time. You can see I'm doing a really thorough job. It's never worth the risk by skipping it, because as I mentioned before, it will ruin your grows. We've already cleaned our box, so everything that goes into that box needs to be clean, otherwise there's no point in cleaning the box to start with. So I'm going to get some paper towels, I'm going to get some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to start cleaning everything that I'm going to bring into the box really thoroughly. Cleaning my liquid culture syringe, making sure you're getting every nook and cranny. Next we're going to clean the outside of our pre-sterilised needle, still in the packet, so it's still sterile. But the packet itself's been left in the open air, so it could have anything on it. Next we're going to clean a grain jar, again using isopropyl alcohol. If you wanted to save on ISO, I find ISO to be quite expensive sometimes. And you can use a bleach solution as well. The only drawback to that is it will make your jars a lot slippier because the ISO will evaporate and the bleach won't. And a slippy jar is quite hard to control sometimes. Here you can see Reggie video bombing me. Now cleaning my lighter, so important safety note. Lighters and isopropyl alcohol do not mix, or rather they do mix very well. There are stories of still air boxes blowing up when people have used a lighter inside after spraying alcohol on something. So if you are going to do any flame sterilising of needles, if you're going to do multiple inoculations of grain jars for example, then try to mitigate the risk by flame sterilising outside the box where possible, or by taking multiple needles inside the box. Now we've cleaned the materials, it's time to get to work. So I'm going to sterilise my hands with some isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to give my hands a really good rub, and because part of my wrists, my arm are going to go into the box, I'm going to also clean them with alcohol as well. I'm going to do this until it evaporates. I would recommend wearing a mask when you come to do your work as well. It's just good practice, you can't be too careful. Whilst we're in the still air box, we're wanting to do everything reasonably slowly. Even though it's a still air environment, we don't want to be wafting things about and possibly drawing anything or shaking anything that might be loose up in there. So we can see how important still air boxes are to us, especially when we're starting out in mycology. You can roll the dice from time to time, live a bit more dangerously when you're doing this kind of thing, but it depends on the species of the mushroom and it depends exactly what you're doing. So with the still box being so cheap and readily available wherever you are, it makes sense to invest in one, whether you're going to modify it or just use it unmodified. It will help to keep everything clean and it'll improve your chances when you're doing this, especially when you're starting out. That about covers it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions and comments, then stick them down below and I'll get back to you. If you found this video informative, then that's great. Just give us a like, subscribe, and I will keep this content coming. It's the best way to support me and G me up for this kind of work. Until next time, take it easy. Much love.